right. There we go.
There we go. We're coming through.
All right.
Looks like we might be here. Yes. All right.
Hello, everybody.
This is Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead.
We hope everybody's doing good tonight. It just
I hope so.
took us a minute because we were really not paying any attention to time.
Mm.
Looks like we got quite a few already popping in, and we're already popping out.
Yep, we already got. Look, we've got weather all over the place, guys. So it's bad. You know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
We have how many storms out in the Atlantic?
We have 6 disturbances out there. Unfortunately, one of them is beelining Stone County, Perkinston, Mississippi, right within miles of our house right here.
Yeah, it's going to hit the Gulf Coast and just keep trucking it up our way.
Come right over the top of us.
Unless it changes,
Unless it changes.
Which they do.
I hope it does, but it's forecast to be a Cat 1, but people are saying that it could possibly be a 2 or a 3.
You never know. When they get in the Gulf, you don't know what they're going to do. So,
yeah.
We see a lot of our friends are popping in, and we want to thank y'all. We hit 140,000 subscribers this week, a couple of days ago. And it's kind of exciting because we never really imagined.
I know. I never thought we'd be at this point.
Yeah, so it's really tonight, and we want to say thank you most of all, and thank you for putting up with this bad internet and whatever goes on here. But later I'm gonna give away a cookbook, but I'll tell you how I'm gonna do that and stuff like that. But why are we doing this? Why do we do this?
Why do we do this? We keep asking ourselves that question over and over.
A lot.
Why do we keep doing this? Me and Wanda sit back and we ever so often we just look around and we go, why are we still doing this? You know?
This week's been one of them. I mean, I've just not been in the mood to edit, and I get in this mood sometimes.
Yeah.
And we haven't really filmed a whole lot.
No.
We've almost quit filming every day because we've got things we want to get done. And when we don't film, if we do film, it takes us 3 times longer. So we've just been doing what we need to do.
Yeah. We've got so much going on right now. We're trying to beat the weather. And it's plus today was the first day that it hasn't been over 100-degree heat index here.
In several weeks. In like 2 weeks or better?
It's been like
3?
A month.
Yeah.
It's been like a month. Wanda and I just don't have, it's just too hot for us to stay out during the day. And we get up in the mornings and the humidity is so high.
Oh, I'm just dripping sweat.
By 8 o'clock, we are soaking wet. You know, even though it's only in like 80 degrees, we're soaking wet because the humidity is so high. And, you know, we don't get a lot done, I mean, because of the heat. And that's what's dragging us down.
Some of them are saying that we do it because we love them, and we do. And that's why we do it. Some of it, somebody says, y'all keep doing it
because you're awesome.
Yeah, one of them said because they need us. I don't know if y'all need us, but okay.
Well, they say one just said God sent y'all to us. You know what I mean?
And we honestly think God did.
Well, the truth of the matter is, let's just be honest and let's just be transparent here. When we first started out, Wanda and I were looking for a ministry.
But we didn't know it was YouTube.
We had no idea it was YouTube. We went around to some different churches that we were at, and we talked about different ministries and stuff, and they just did not seem to be interested whatsoever. So we come home, several times, and we talked, and we just like, we don't know what God has for us to do, so we just put it on the back burner. We thought, well, maybe it's just us.
Maybe we don't have a place,
Yeah.
And we just sat here and we did our gardens, and we harvested our food, and we put it up, and we would throw little tidbit videos over on Facebook on Bluebird Farm.
Yeah.
And people would watch them, but I mean, nobody was commenting. No, we didn't know what. I didn't. He knew what YouTube was, but I didn't. And somebody asked us about doing YouTube, or actually mainly suggested us watching a lot of homestead
Yeah.
videos, and we go, "What's homestead?" So we kind of got into it from there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, start out with Wanda and I were struggling financially for a while. Neither one of us was able to work at that moment, so we were just like struggling along, and the internet bill needed to be paid. And I told her, I says, well, we've either got to come up with a way to pay it, or we got to cut it off. You know, I mean,
Hmm.
one of the two,
Make it pay for itself.
or make it pay for itself. And so we started YouTube as a way to try to keep the internet going, and
Yeah.
it has
Well, that was
become the ministry.
yeah, but the internet was the only way I could keep up with friends and family. Our cell phone service out here has always been non-existent. I can't hardly talk to anybody on the phone. So having an internet was kind of my way of keeping up with my family and friends. And he said, well, if we're going to do that, we got to kind of have a way to pay for it. And so our goal initially was to come up with YouTube making at least $100 a month. That was our
Yeah.
goal. And so now it pays bills. It does really good. So
Yeah.
and we worked into a ministry. We didn't know that.
We didn't realize God was leading us into this being the ministry. And Jamie, your fig trees are losing its leaves because it's the time of the year for it to happen.
Yeah.
But since it's become a ministry for us, we first started off and we did YouTube with Deep South. Then we did All God's Children, which is still up.
Crazy Days.
And then we did Crazy Days, which is Wanda's channel. And we realized that we could insert a lot of our biblical teachings into Deep South's videos because they were getting a lot more views than All God's Children was. So we decided to just do that instead of trying to keep all three channels going.
And Crazy Days kind of gets on the back burner a lot because I don't have the time to spend. It's supposed to be me throwing a little bit of tidbits out there here and there that just don't make it on Deep South. And so I'm learning to cut the videos down to a 5 to 8 minute video and throw it up. And it's very unedited. I threw one up today and it was just like, I walked around, did 2 or 3 talks and shot it up. So
Prepstead with disabilities, it depends on how you planted your sweet potatoes. If you put the sweet potatoes in the ground and the slips grew on the sweet potatoes and you didn't pull the slips off and plant them individually, you're not going to have any potatoes. You're just going to have vines. That's all you're going to have. Without knowing all the details, it's kind of hard for me to answer that.
Yeah.
But then we decided, on YouTube, everything has to be politically correct. We get corrected all the time by different people. We don't pronounce this word just right, or we didn't say this just right, or this word means that. So we decided to, and plus YouTube is censoring us really bad. So we decided to go over to Patreon. And over at Patreon, we didn't know if anybody would come over to Patreon or not, so we kept it at a very cheap price. And so far, Patreon is it's doing okay. It's another avenue where we can actually talk freely.
And we found that a lot of the people there feel more apt to talk freely in the chat somewhat, or send us private messages. They can send messages over there too. And we get a lot of people there. And today, one of them just blessed her heart. She just, I read it to Danny, and this is why we do this.
This is why we do this. We had I didn't get to see the thing.
I just kind of read it.
She just read it to me. I don't know if it was male or female, but
I think it was a female.
Wanda said she believed it was female. Said that she really didn't believe in God. And
for many years.
For many, many years of her life, because of circumstances that had arose in her life, and it left her just believing that how could there be a God if he allowed all these horrible things to happen to people and things? And I'm just paraphrasing it because I didn't read it. I'm going off of memory. And she said because she began to watch our videos and other people's videos about homesteading and us talking about gardening and God and all these different things and seeing the goodness of life, that she actually come to know the Lord. And as a result, you know, she now believes in the Lord, and she seems like from what I understood, Wanda reading, seems like a lot happier person
Yeah.
than what she was, and she was thanking us for actually putting up videos and stuff.
Yeah, and we get these type videos videos. We get these type messages a lot. I got, I think over the years, I don't know how many young couples have messaged us, asked questions, we've answered their questions, and I try to answer as many emails as possible. If I did not get to an email, I'm sorry, but 99% of the time I answer emails. Might not be as quickly as people want them, but they get answered. Danny tries to catch as many questions in the video comments as he can, but if he doesn't, it's simply because there are so many sometimes, and he tries to read every one. And so we are trying really hard to keep up, but 140,000, that subscribers just unreal. And the comments, you know,
Yeah,
we some videos get a lot of comments.
yeah.
So, and we appreciate it because it gives us an
We
insight into people, you
I mean, we
know.
get a lot of good comments and we get a lot of bad comments. To be honest, I mean, there's lots of them. As soon as it comes up and we are notified, we pull them down instantly because you got some people that just all they want to do is just run around and just be hateful, and we try not to let that be seen on our channel any more than we absolutely
Yeah.
have to. And sometimes they slip in and we don't know about it on videos that we're not aware of. But as soon as we become notified about it, we do try to,
Yeah.
you know, clean them up and take them
And there
down.
are these sexually illicit photos of people on that's going on all the YouTube channels,
Yeah,
not just ours. And sometimes there may be as many as 3 to 10 in the comment section. So it takes going individual and looking, because their comment is not really a bad comment.
right.
It's the picture that they throw up and stuff. So you have to kind of be paying attention.
Yeah.
Did you catch what she said, Deep South? I'm not sure what you're talking
I'm not.
about. You'll have to repost.
She timed somebody out, and
Oh, we didn't see it. No.
I saw it was Kitty something. I just do it, but I didn't get to read the comment. Y'all caught it before we ever saw it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if it was good or bad. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to trust you on that one.
Uh, do we have freeze dried food for long term storage? As a matter of fact, that's just what we're going to talk
We were gonna
about.
talk about that a little bit, guys. Lots of you, if you cook from scratch, there's a few things that you kind of like to have on hand. And if you don't have your own cow, you don't have your own, I'm on the wrong one. Let me see which one I got. Your own cow, your own goat or whatever.
Right.
You don't have
a way to make
this.
Right.
And so when I saw this, we are affiliates with My Patriot Supply. So let me just say that we are an affiliate with My Patriot Supply, and we do have a link in the description below. But I did not get this gift to me.
People don't give us stuff like everybody thinks they do.
Well, I guess if I contacted Adam,
if we'd ask and beg, they might, but we don't. We just go and buy it.
Let me see how the light is hitting it. Where is it?
Right
there we go. All right, this is butter powder. Okay, this is a number 10 can, or is that what they call a number 10 can? I guess. All right, it says it's got up to a 10-year shelf life. Now, once you open this, it don't last 10 years, promise you, it just don't. But if you buy this and you stick it on the shelf, right now you can buy butter in the store, you can do whatever. But you put this on the shelf, and I write the date when I get it. And I wrote that 10 years from now, I need to be using this. So by 2030, I need to use this. So if I go put this on my shelf and I forget about it for a while and I don't need it, somewhere in the next 10 years, I do need to use that. But if, say, we don't have a way to get butter, all the stores are shut down, everything's shut down, and you want butter on something and you don't have it, you can take some of this, add a touch of water, and you got butter. makes sense to me. So I'm keeping it as a storage. Somebody asked me, one of the things I bought was another one, honey. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. They make honey powder. Okay. Some people say, oh, it might have something in it. I don't know what it's actually made of. Honey powder. It's cane sugar, honey, and fructose or whatever. So it does have a little bit of junk in it. But are you going to complain if you need something sweet and you've got honey powder, add water, it makes it sweet? This one has a 30-year shelf life, up to 30 years. You can put it on the shelf and forget it. But if you ever run out of sugar or sweetener, you can go pull it out. And I wrote on top when to use it by. And something a lot of people were asking me about was peanut butter. Now I like peanut butter, and this one has a shelf life of 5 years because it is an oil.
It's an oil. It'll get rancid, yeah.
So this one, once opened, you need to use it within a month. But the peanut butter is something that I would use anyway if I run out. If I don't go buy peanut butter and I'm out, I would open that and start using it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the guys, we're just trying to be practical here. You know, we paid for this, we bought it. I mean, I don't actually know what it cost, but I just know we had to have it. And the thing about it is, when you need something and you need to stock up on it, I don't worry about what it costs me. I say, you know what? I'll cut back somewhere else in order to be able to afford to prepare for my future, you know.
Okay, so somebody said that it used butter buds, the Mennonites, they get it from them, and said they use, and I've used the buttermilk powder a lot too.
Yeah.
I used to keep that on hand, and I had forgotten about the buttermilk powder. Any of this stuff that's powder that has a long shelf life, you can stick it on the shelf and not use it for a long time. But if you are cooking, and say I'm in the kitchen and I'm making biscuits, and I look and I don't have butter, or I'm totally out, there's no stores available, I have it.
But that's not the reason for prepping it. The reason for prepping it is if we was to have an EMP or whatever happens and we don't have any refrigeration.
That's another good reason. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no refrigeration and you don't have any way to keep butter right, you don't have any way to make fresh butter, you don't have any way to keep your now honey. It doesn't matter about the honey because honey's not going to go bad anyway.
And I have several jars.
We have many jars of honey, but these are staple products for us. The peanut butter is a staple product. I mean, it's good for you. And it's a powder product. You don't have to keep it refrigerated.
And see, I also, from my Patriot Supply, I bought their coffee. It is a freeze-dried coffee. I bought several packs of it, and I've got it stuck up. I'm not using it now, and I'm not going to be using it on a regular basis. This is where some of the companies get you hooked into buying every month. And so you got to keep using up in order to buy the next month. And
I don't know where you got it.
My Patriot Supply.
Okay, so tell Carol.
Yeah, My Patriot Supply.
Yeah, this all came, Carol, from My Patriot Supply. We have a link in the description down below where you can go to it and you can get all this stuff.
Now, what I'm trying to get y'all to see is to buy things and stick them up, like the coffee. I don't use it all the time. I put it up. I still buy my coffee in town, and I still use my regular coffee. Plus, I have my Ticino, which is, they send me 1 pack of coffee of their specialty coffee for the month that they just came out with. I buy other Ticino that I like. So all these people that keep saying, y'all get all these freebies and freebies and freebies, not necessarily. We buy a lot. And we bought the, what is the juicer press?
Oh, the press, the cider press.
Yeah, we didn't get that gift to us. We bought it.
Yeah, nobody gave us that. Our crusher came in yesterday,
and we bought it.
And we paid for it. We went online. We looked for these things because here at Deep South Homestead, we believe we need hand-operated tools. And let me get this right so nobody chumps down my neck about this. Quinoa. I called it a quinoa, and somebody says quinoa is a grain, which quinoa, shinwa, tomato, tomato, potato, potato, piano,
It is
piano.
one of them things you
It's
sit
one
and
of
do
them things you
this.
run a stick run around. Anyway, mine and Wanda's arms and shoulders are getting so bad. We can't sit there for hours and just go round and round and round in this stupid little thing. So we decided.
We hunted a better way.
So we hunted a better way, which was a cider press, which could also be used for grapes. And we decided we bought it ourselves, you know?
Instant coffee and freeze-dried coffee are the same thing.
Yes.
That's because I never thought about it until I got the coffee from my Patriot Supply. It's called Franklin Coffee, and it really is good because I opened it. I got several packs, and I opened one pack so I could test it. And we were at the cabin, and Danny boiled water, and I just put 1 teaspoon of it in there. And I looked at it, and I said, oh, that's not enough. So I put 2 teaspoons in.
No, that was.
And it was so stout, I couldn't down it. I had to add more water. 1 teaspoon is more than enough of this coffee. Believe me, it is very stout with 1.
Yeah, so, Donnie Carter says a meat grinder if you don't already have one. We have a meat grinder. We have one you do by hand. We have the the kind you do around and around and around. In fact, we got 2 of them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I bought one when I went on vacation one year. Yeah.
So we got 2 of them. We've got the stuffer that goes with it to stuff sausage with. I mean, guys, we've got the corn grinder, the corn shellers. We have all of those type things.
Yeah, and when we show these things to y'all, it's not that we're trying to sell them, just like these.
No, we're not trying to sell that.
Supply, I'm not trying to sell that to you. If you think you need it, that's fine. There's a link in the description. But I'm not trying to sell things. I'm showing you things that make our homestead work.
Yeah.
And that's why we do it, not to say, hey, look, buy. And when we say there's a link in the description, it's not, hey, go buy. It's because 90% of the time we get question after question after question. Where did you get this? Where did you get that? And I'm trying to learn to put it in the description.
Tammy says, what brand was that, Danny and Wanda? Dehydrated or freeze-dried?
It's freeze-dried, and it's from My Patriot Supply, and it's called Franklin's Finest. It comes in little small packages. You would think there's not very much coffee in there, but it was what? I forgot. It is a month's supply of coffee in one little package, very, very little package. And you can get the whole big tub of it too if you wanted.
Does the press work better than the steamer juicer? It's not about which one works better. It's about
taste.
Taste. If you put those muscadines or anything like that in a juicer steamer and it goes through that heat cycle, it loses all of its sweetness. It's not sweet at all.
It still tastes like a muscadine if we put muscadines in there, but it's not sweet. It's kind of just a blah taste.
Yeah.
If we hand do it with the chinois or how you chinois or the fruit press, you get the pure juice with the sweetness and everything, and we freeze it. So we have the juice. Now, if I'm going to make jelly, I'll put it in the juicer steamer. It's way faster, way easier all day, and you still get your taste. It's just that it's not as sweet, but you're adding sugar, so why does it matter?
Somebody's wanting to know what the best hand-operated grain mill is. It just depends what you're willing to spend. You know, I mean, and how much you're needing to grind. If you're wanting to grind chicken feed and corn and all that, I mean, grain mill, Pleasant Hill Grain Mills has some really good ones. It just all depends on what you want to spend.
Good. Is that the same as you're answering the hand grinder?
Yep.
Okay, that's a grain mill.
Pleasant Hill has an excellent line of those products, but they're all going to be expensive because of what they are.
Yes, and just like this press that we got, this is made out of some heavy duty stuff. It is very well made.
Yeah.
And
it's heavy too.
You can get it off Amazon or Walmart. We got the press from Walmart, but they had them on Amazon, but people were looking and they were out. And that we got the crusher.
The crusher
from Amazon. So you know, we had.
Hey, Grizz, we don't laugh about anything like that because we grind a lot of our own stuff too. We make our own cornbread, or no, we don't make our own cream of wheat because I have a gluten issue. But sometimes we grind up stuff for the chickens. I mean, like yesterday, or was it this past week? I shelled out peanuts, and I picked out the bad peanuts and put them in a bucket. They were dry. Wanda took them to the chickens, so they
Yeah.
get all the dry peanuts.
I think somebody was asking about a hand can opener. Now, there's a lot of them out there, and most of them, if you
Most
buy
of them are pretty cheap.
yeah, and they are made cheap and they fall apart in no time. I have a Pampered Chef can opener, one of the older ones that I've had for years and years and years, and it still works. They've changed the way it's made now, and I do like my Pampered Chef products, but Pampered Chef still has a newer model, not made exactly like mine, that is good.
Sour Ridge says, "Is there any way to get straight oats but with the husks off?" I don't know unless you get what they call steel cut. Now sometimes steel cut ones are pretty good.
Yeah, most places is steel cut, I would think.
Yeah.
I think if you have Amish stores close by, you can get them.
Yeah.
Right?
Do chickens like cornbread? They love it.
Yes.
They'll eat it. I'm talking about they just love it. When would you plant peanuts here? In the early spring, as long as all danger of frost is gone. Jerusa.
Yeah. Just learning, want to make homemade butter. Where do I start? I've lived in the city. Homemade butter, you gotta have milk.
First, you gotta have milk with cream on it.
Yeah. Just the milk in the grocery store will not do it.
Won't work. You need whipping cream.
Yeah. And look online. There's a bunch of recipes, and there's
well, the
lots
fastest
of
way just to learn it the hard way. Let me just tell you, to learn it the hard way, go to the store, buy heavy whipping cream, come home, take a clear jar, pour it into it, and sit there for the next 30 minutes and shake it.
And if it ain't enough, shake it 30
and
more.
If it ain't solidified enough, shake it 30 more minutes, and you'll begin to appreciate what your forefathers went through making butter.
Yeah, that would be the quickest way. But if you have a cow or a goat with their milk,
yeah, that you're milking,
you have the butter particles in it, so
yeah.
then you can make it from that.
Yeah.
Somebody saying a swing away can opener. That's a good old school can opener.
This moves so fast. A lot of
yeah. It's the time we start reading one, it jumps 10. But
anyway, pictures.
Oh, pictures. You want to talk about?
Yeah. We ain't got but a couple of pictures here.
Yeah. One of them. Y'all, this is what we do a lot. This is why we're not getting anything done.
Yeah, that's not why we're not getting anything done. We spend most of our time down at the pond. We love the pier. We love to go down there and sit. And here, I told Wanda, I said, I took my little rod and reel, and I said, let me see how big the fish are getting. And they're actually up about, believe it or not, the bass are like 6 to 8 inches long.
They're good sized little guys.
They done eat all of our minnows in the pond. We got to go get more minnows.
Yeah, we saw how many of those minnows the other day.
Oh gosh, there must have been 50 in a bunch, and the bass ate all 50 of them in no time.
Within 24 hours, the bass had eaten all the minnows. We'd go out there and they'd be just, and it was crazy.
It was crazy.
But we at least got to see them, and then we saw brim coming up at the pier, and then in the front, the catfish. Danny's in love with the catfish, y'all.
Oh, those catfish are just awesome. They're already, they're already getting up nice length to them. I mean, they're doing good.
Yeah. And when he throws the catfish food out there, they're just popping.
Yeah, it looks like a pot of boiling water when I throw the feed out there. I mean, the fish are just going.
Yeah, he says, man, you're going to have too many fish. Not really. And frogs, the little teeny ones.
Oh.
They'll down a frog, a cricket, a bug.
I go up on the bank and catch a little tiny frog and chunk him in the water, or a cricket, and some tiny hits the water, he's gone.
Yeah, so we know that they'll eat.
And those bass are very aggressive. I mean, I'm talking about, dude, they're just really aggressive fish. And they've gone from being like 1.5 inches long they're already up to 6 inches long, and it's amazing. Them things are growing like weeds.
Yeah, they're doing great. I've seen several people got their seeds. Y'all, we have on our Etsy store, we've been trying to put up the Cherokee tan, the cream pea, the Mississippi
Cream
peas,
peas,
and the
Danny
Danny
corn.
corn. And I don't know if if there's any up right now. I put the Danny corn up maybe 2 hours, 3 hours ago. And time it goes up, people have it in their cart and it starts disappearing. The Cherokee tan is the other one. Every time we put some up, they disappear. But we have to sit and count them out. And this past week, it took me a while to get Etsy orders done. So we've been just kind of limiting it, but there'll be some up this week.
Gossmania asked, where did we get our fish from? We got them from Slade's Fish Hatchery right out here off of County Line Road, right out past us here.
Yeah, it's not too far from us. Yeah, I was afraid we were going to have a frog pond because when we first put the fish in there, the first week or so, there were frog eggs by the thousands.
Little tadpoles
I'm
by
talking
the thousands.
All around the side of the pond. And I told Danny, I said, now I don't mind a frog or two, but we can't have thousands of frogs. And he said, don't worry, we just put those fish in there. I said, but I am worried. I said, that's 1,000. I mean, it was not 8,000. It was thousands.
Literally.
Literally thousands of tiny little tadpoles everywhere, all around the outside. Now, within what, 2 to 3 days?
Probably a week.
They were gone, every one of them. And it wasn't because they got big and grew, they were gone. So they fed our fish. That's why those fish are about this long. They grew, they had a healthy diet.
Mm-hmm.
Can I plant the Mississippi cream peas in the fall? It's according to where you're at.
Nope.
They need heat.
Nope. They need heat.
Yeah.
And they need about 60 to 80 days. So I would say you have to plant them in the spring.
Yeah, no later than midsummer, right?
You can plant them in midsummer. Yeah, you can plant them in midsummer. Are y'all eating frog legs? Nope. The fish caught all the frogs. We got a couple of big frogs in there, but not many.
Somebody says there are corn shuckers on the way.
Well, they ordered one
like ours.
Good deal. I want some Cherokee tans next year. I've never had any. I tell you what, they are awesome.
Do we have a tutorial on how we built the hotbed? Yes, we do.
We have a video on it, don't we?
Yes. I think it's called How to Build a Cold Frame or / Hotbed or something like that. I don't remember exactly. What's the way to say bush bean seeds? Danny has a video coming up on saving seeds this week, guys.
I do. I have a video on saving seeds this week coming up. Best thing to do is just let them dry on the vine.
How soon before we can go fishing? Well, he could go fishing anytime. He just can't. He has to throw them back.
I got to throw them back because they're only about 6 inches long.
Yeah. We just like watching them. I guess we're kind of spectators.
Well, I find myself, especially in the front pond, I find myself when I feed the fish, I just sit and watch them because, the pond just looks like all of a sudden it just has a fire under it. It's just sitting there. The water's just boiling and slapping and popping and everywhere. Because we got like 40 or 50 catfish in it now?
40.
40? Yeah.
If none of them died, and we haven't seen any of them die.
Yeah.
So we should have 40 catfish in the front.
We got 50 brim we put in there.
Yeah.
And several hundred minnows.
And all you see is the catfish and a few minnows. No, catfish and the brim.
When do you plant the Cherokee tans? In the spring when all danger of frost has went away.
Yeah.
We never did get to the rest of the picture.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Let's talk about these few down here right quick.
Let's see, family one. What is this?
The other day we went to my mom's house. I told Danny for my birthday, all I wanted is just go visit with my family a little bit because it's been all year. Hadn't been able to get with them because of everything going on. So we went to my mom's. My 2 daughters, only got 2.
Yeah, you only got 2.
I only got 2. And one of my sons was there. And This is me and my mom, my 2 daughters, and my son. We took pictures, and I didn't realize Mom and I and Amy kind of coordinated, didn't we?
Yep.
Color coordinated here. Then we took pictures of all of us. That's me and Mom with the girls and all the grandkids. And they're all getting to be pretty good size. We had a lot of.
All them kids are from 2 daughters.
Yeah. my oldest has 7, and my youngest has 4, which is. All right, this is Danny and I with my oldest daughter's kids. She has 7. The twins were a year old a couple of days ago, and we just had a blast with them. And this is my youngest daughter's 4. So we just had a really good time away from the house for the day.
We spent the whole day.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. And the other thing was this Monday morning. You want to mention? Or
All right. Here we have a guy by the name of Patrick Timpones.
Timponi?
Timpones.
I don't know
How do you say that? Whichever
I
way.
just know Patrick.
Just Patrick's all we call him. I have an interview with him. It's a podcast, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to be
We're going
talking
to be doing
with him.
a podcast Monday morning at
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Central Standard Time about canning and the homesteading lifestyle on his program.
And it is oneradionetwork.com. And he said if you go to oneradionetwork.com, you can click on the interview while we're doing it live. He does do, if we had where the internet would work really well, we could do it like this, but we're afraid with the storm coming in, we're not going to be able to do a whole lot. So we agreed to do a phone-in interview. So if you guys,
that is if the weather don't get too bad and Monday we go to town.
Yeah. So if you guys would love to jump in at oneradionetwork.com Monday morning at 9 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah.
And join us with Patrick Timponi, I think is how he says his name. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So that kind of gets us through ours.
Lots of stuff going on at Deep South Homestead. I mean, we're constantly doing something. I mean, people are contacting us about doing this, want to know about that, and some we turn down a lot.
Yeah.
You know, we turn down a whole lot, to be a matter of fact. But occasionally one like this will come up, and we do actually accept it.
Gaussmania, it is oneradionetwork.com. Add the word ONE in front of radio, and that way they can go straight to it. If you were starting a homestead from scratch, what is the first thing you would do?
If I was starting a homestead from scratch, what was the first thing I'd do? I'd clear me out a place for a garden.
Fencing.
And fence it. I'd fence my property and clear me out a place for a garden.
Can you do a video on maintaining garden tools, the cleaning, storage, sharpening, etc.? We do have one on sharpening.
We have one on. We have one on sharpening some of them. Now I don't know.
And cleaning them.
And cleaning them, yeah.
A Homestead box was on that, right?
Yep, I think so.
It would be way back. I don't know. You just have.
Yeah.
But he does have one on sharpening a hoe, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, we have sharpening a Dutch hoe.
And then the Homestead box, one of them was on. He used it the cleaners and stuff to clean tools. I do remember that.
So anyway, that's
a little bit
about what we got going on this coming week here. And we've
and I don't know if there's other than that in my cookbook.
Yeah.
Now I do want to give away a cookbook, but it's very hard with the buffering and the lagging here. So Danny and I think what we're going to do is when this is over, if you would like a cookbook, click back into the video and in the chat, in the, what is it called? not chat. This is a chat. What's the
Live feed. I mean,
no? It once the video's up and they comment section.
comment section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not live chat, but once this is up, go back in and in the comment section say I would like a cookbook, and that way I can use the randomizer, and then I will announce it sometime tomorrow. I'll probably leave this up and check it maybe tomorrow night, and we'll do something with and announce who the winner is. But this is my cookbook. I guess I should show it. I forget. Y'all, I am not good at this kind of stuff. I don't have but a few of these cookbooks left. I think I'm less than 50. And when they're gone, guys. I'm not going to do any more because I've had so much trouble with the post office. I've lost several of them through the post office, and I'm replacing some of them. People have ordered a second time, which is not really fair to them. They paid for 2 cookbooks. They get 1 because the post office lost it. So people have been really good about that. But I'm tired of dealing. Once we get through with seeds and stuff like that, I don't know. Some days I think it's not worth it because of the post office.
Press 7 Disabilities wants to know, can you can Cherokee tan pumpkins? And the answer is yes. If you cut it up in chunks, do not puree it.
I would cut it in chunks. What you could do, this is what I did with the spaghetti squash. I put it whole. I didn't cut it or anything because they're so hard to cut. I put the spaghetti squash whole in the oven and cooked it about 15-20 minutes, and you can just slice through it pretty easy. It still leaves it in chunks. You could do the Cherokee tan the same way. Set it whole in the oven, cook it 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and just see if your knife won't slide through it a lot easier. You can peel it easier and everything. It worked well. And then you pressure it an hour and a half. But always cut it in cubes, put water in it or a light syrup, a sugar mixture.
Okay, one of the questions was asked was, would I do a video on how to EMP proof a solar system? The only thing you have to worry about on a solar system with an EMP is going to be the battery bank. If you build a Faraday cage to set your batteries in, then you shouldn't have a problem. The only problem you're going to run into is you don't know when an EMP is going to happen. And if anything is hooked to those batteries, it can run into the batteries and actually cook the batteries. You know, so that's a very difficult one to do.
Somebody's asking, could I use UPS and get a better result? No, it would cost more.
It costs more.
As it is now, I'm only charging $5 to ship them, and in most places I'm having to ship out. If I send it book rate, it costs me about $3 and something. Plus
and you never know when they're going to get them.
Yeah, and you never know when they're going to get them. I've got some locked up in Atlanta. They've been there since June the 28th. They have not moved out of Atlanta since June. I've got one that's been floating all over the United States, and every time I look, it's in a different city. It's going everywhere. It reached its destination, left again, and it just keeps going. So we don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
So I'm sending them first class, and when I send them first class, it costs me anywhere from $4.50 on up to $5 and something. I'm only charging $5. In some places, it's costing me more than $5.
Over the $5. Yeah.
So I'm having to just kind of fudge it with them on this, because if I'm trying to send them first class now instead of book rate, and when I send them first class, it just costs a little more. So we'll be done with it.
Jennifer and Donnie asked a question about way a while ago. It just hit me back about what's a good tree, a fast-growing tree to plant for a windbreak. That depends on what part of the country you live in. Some places people plant red tops. Some places they plant these. Mom and them has them all over their property out there. Leland cypresses. I mean, and it depends on if you have fruit trees out there or not. Because if you've got apple trees, then you need to stay away from any of the cedar type trees because of apple rust and all that kind of stuff taking place. I mean, there's lots of things that you have to take into consideration. Some trees are invasive; they'll take over. Some trees that you plant, if you're not careful, things won't grow next to them. Especially things like black walnuts and eucalyptus trees, anything like that. They give off a chemical in the ground that prevents anything from growing around them. So you have to be kind of cautious as to what you plant.
I don't know what happened to that. It started making a
I
weird
know it sounded like an airplane taking off. I was like, what's making that noise?
I got a fan here and it started making a different noise. Okay. When do you plant your carrots? In about next week.
About a week and a half from now.
If it quits raining.
It depends on the hurricane. Let me put it that way.
He's talking to somebody else.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at there.
Do the cream peas need a trellis?
No, the cream peas do not need a trellis.
No, mine. Most of them stayed about this tall, but they did put some runners on, but they'll just lay over on the ground.
They'll just lay over, they'll be fine.
You don't have to do it.
Mary Beth Smith says, they ain't in the post office in Atlanta no more, they in somebody's house.
I about come to that conclusion.
Every time we go online and look,
they
say they're sitting in Atlanta. And I just wonder sometimes if they didn't send them to somebody's place they didn't care about. I mean, just send them out, you know.
No, I have a feeling they got trashed, and then that's it. That's the end of the line. So, you know, we just have to keep dealing. But if I send it first class, people usually get it within a week or so. It might take. It doesn't take as long as book rate, but it takes a little longer.
Right.
And if I send it, what is it called? Express. Whatever it is, you can send it 3 days, but it would probably cost you about $8 or something to send it in 3 days, and it's just not worth it, guys. Y'all can wait a week. Some of you have been waiting for months.
Carol,
I got one waiting for a while.
Carol Toy says, love you guys. I wish I had a Danny. Well, I don't know. Wanda, don't tell Wanda that. She's allowed to trade me off or bid me off or auction me off or something.
Y'all just think this man is really perfect, and he's not. I'm sorry.
She'll tell all my faults. Don't ask her. She'll tell every fault I have.
No, he is really, really good. He's always been good to me, but he does have a fault or two.
I guess. I mean, somewhere along the line, I'm sure there is one.
He's a man. He forgets sometimes. That's always a man trait. He tries not to forget things, but he does on occasion.
Yeah, you know how it is. So, we have selective hearing.
Michelle said her Cherokee tans are turning yellow and little pumpkins have gotten soft and dying. What should I do? It's getting late in the season. It's getting late in the season.
I was going to say, we had one today that just rotted on the vine. I had to throw it into the chickens for no reason at all.
Most of them are turning. There's several of them turning, but one of the biggest ones was one that went bad, so we don't know.
Barbara says, I sent you a cabin mug. Did you get it?
How long ago?
How long ago was it? Let me ask you that.
I have one that's a cabin mug, and I showed it on but that's been several months ago. I got one that says cabin time.
We got a troll trying to jump in bad.
Yeah, y'all just ban him.
Just ban him. Don't time him out. Just ban him.
Just go ahead, Grizz.
Just whack the Trump supporter, whatever you want to call him. I don't care. Just whack him. It's probably somebody who knows us really good, more than likely. We've got lots of close enemies around us, so it's probably one of them.
Just ban them.
Just ban
them. Not that I'm going to tell you to vote for either person.
No, we don't care who you vote for.
But don't come on here.
Yeah, don't come on here trying to tell people what to do. It's just not, we're not about that.
That's not why we're here.
Yeah.
But I do get everybody saying they're voting in person.
No, I get that totally. I'm voting in person. I ain't voting any other way.
They would lose it. Now, the only time I've not voted in person, if I have to be gone, I have.
Well, when you worked the polls,
yeah.
You had to. I mean, not the dancing polls, but the election polls. She had to be there, so she had to at another one, so she had to do a absentee at ours.
Yes. And I went into the office, signed my ballot, and sealed it and handed it back to them. So I know
Yeah.
they got it. I don't like doing this mail-in thing on much of anything.
Do we ever go deer hunting? When we get a chance.
We got deer
We
coming
got
into our
deer coming
sweet
in
potato.
right now. They came in my sweet potato patch this past week. Do we plan out our years, months, and weekly tasks? Do you have a to-do list? Deborah says. Deborah, I wake up in the morning. I know what needs to be done for the whole week. And I wake up in the morning, whatever my health allows me to do, that's what we do. Like this morning, we jumped up and we put the ends on Wanda's greenhouse, the plywood up, and as I put them up and framed them all in, she painted right behind me. So
Yeah. So we got that done. What else did we do?
oh
We
gosh.
mowed
I
some.
mowed this morning. I put dirt in gullies around the pond with all this rain coming to make sure they didn't wash any deeper. I mean, we done lots of things. I put the doors on the cabinets of the cabin.
Yeah, we went over there, and I didn't put a picture up to show y'all what the kitchen doors look like. We're still not through. Now on Patreon, I did shoot up a picture of the doors of the cabin, but hopefully after the rain, Danny and I will take the doors off and seal them. They have not been sealed yet.
Right.
He will put all the handles on, and then I'm going to do a kitchen tour on Deep South. But I was waiting to get the doors on, and when we started with the greenhouses, we did one greenhouse, then another, then he decided a pond, and then another, and all the the doors went by the wayside.
Yeah, but we got them though.
But he's got them, so we're going to get them
Grizz
done.
makes a very valid point. If there's no point in planting a garden if you don't deer hunt.
Yep.
Because the deer are going to eat it, and you might as well eat the deer.
Yes.
Oh, Rita says chicken eggs are $10 for organic eggs per dozen.
Y'all know how many I just give my girls?
We just gave away
I say 18 carton.
Yeah.
18 within a carton, so 6 times
18 carton
eggs. So that's more than a dozen at a time. So
that's a dozen and a half at a time.
So that's
6, 7, 8, 9 dozens we just gave away.
I just gave away 9, and I probably got 6 in there.
we're getting so many eggs, it ain't even funny.
We don't eat that many eggs.
As a matter of fact, a lot of our eggs, we just go ahead and recook them and feed them back to the chickens.
Yeah. So if anybody lives in the Wiggins area that would like eggs, you have to contact me. We'll see about it. Danny, you did a good job on Porch Time speak, I guess this week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What would you plant first if you'd never gardened before? Probably something really simple like tomatoes. I would plant a hybrid tomato. Now, I wouldn't plant an heirloom. I'd plant a hybrid that had a lot of disease resistance, and I'd make it a bush type. I would not a determinate. I wouldn't make it an indeterminate. And I would probably plant some pepper plants.
If it was me, I would plant some kind of peas, because peas are easy and they give you something to eat. And potatoes, or sweet potatoes. I'm more about having some substance, because tomatoes and peppers ain't going to fill you up.
Yeah, she said, what would I plant first if you're a first-time gardener?
I know.
Something very easy.
That is easy.
Well, peas get a lot of lice on them. That's one reason.
Well, they might have to do something. Hey there, my little niece, Diana. She said, hey, Auntie Wanda, I'm making salsa recipe from your cookbook while I'm watching. She says she loves the cookbook. I want to know, did your sweet potatoes do anything? That's my niece that I sent sweet potato slips to.
Okay, I got you. Your niece that you sent sweet potatoes to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to know, did you have any sweet luck with the sweet potatoes? Probably she hasn't harvested yet, though.
Probably
it hasn't been time.
Yeah.
I have tried what they call water glassing, and I did not like it. I threw all of them out. But in my defense, I did something wrong, and I oiled some of the eggs, and I put them all in one thing with the water glassing. Somebody said, why not do all of it at one time? And so I took the advice of well-knowing people on YouTube, and it was bad. Just saying.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it.
They asked, Redeemed Acres asked, do I mostly focus on hybrids now? I have a large seed bank of heirloom seeds of all types in storage so that if I can't get any more seeds, then I have them. But I also have a very large seed bank of hybrid seeds that are highly resistant to lots of different diseases. And until I need the heirloom seeds, I'm going to be planting hybrid seeds because they do beat the diseases that we're facing today. And they may not taste quite as good, but guys, what good is it going to do if you can't? If the bugs eat your plants up anyway, you get nothing. It's better to get something that doesn't taste quite as good and get plenty of it than it is to get nothing hardly.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes, I do a lot of hybrids.
Yeah, because we do both.
Now we have lots of other heirloom things like rattlesnake beans, butter peas, Mississippi cream peas. I mean, we have lots of stuff like that that are heirlooms. Plus, we do lots of sweet potatoes, which right now we've got more than we know what to do with. And we plant Irish potatoes. You know, we got tons of them.
What do we think of freezing eggs? I have frozen eggs for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And I usually take 2 eggs, lightly stir them, just kind of like you're going to scramble them, and I pour them in a Ziploc bag, and I label it that it's 2 eggs. And then sometimes I'll do 3 eggs because some recipes will call for 2 eggs, some will call for 3, and then some will call for 4 eggs. Well, you can do 2 twos to get 4, if that makes sense. So, and then when I put them in one little Ziploc bag, I lay them in a gallon Ziploc bag so they're double bagged, and you can just take out what you need. And so I've been doing that, and they usually last, what, 6 months or better in the freezer.
Usually do pretty good. What's good to plant in a damp, shaded spot? Probably a banana tree. I mean, vegetables, you're not going to find anything that's going to do good in a damp, shaded place because it's just, most vegetables don't need damp soil.
Yeah, it needs.
If you put potatoes in there of any kind, they'll rot. If you do peppers and tomatoes, they're not going to do good.
Farmer's daughter says my tomatoes aren't turning red. It's too cold at night.
Anytime the temperature drops below 60 degrees, they'll take a long time to turn.
She can take them off and.
You can take them off and bring them in the house and let them ripen. Would store-bought potash work in my garden if I can't make my own? Yes, we use store-bought potash in our garden lots of times.
Yeah.
Black-eyed peas for the further south you live. Yep, they're a warm weather pea.
All right. Anyone I know with chickens can't even give eggs away. Everyone I know has chickens. That's the way we are.
That's the way we are.
I don't know that everybody has chickens, but
they'd
here,
rather go to Walmart and buy them.
They want Walmart eggs.
Yeah, they'll just go to Walmart.
Yeah. We live in an area where people just, I guess they're not really into that. I guess we're in the wrong area for homesteading, right?
Yep.
You would think in South Mississippi that everybody would be kind of into it. And we saw more gardens in the last 6 months than we've seen in a long, long time here in our area. We used to travel to my mom's and back and never see a garden. And lately, in the last 6 months, even just going back and forth to town, we've seen more gardens in people's yards.
Yeah. A lot of people are putting up ways to freeze eggs, and they're really good.
Yeah.
Well, green tomatoes in newspapers, they ripen better in the dark. You wrap them in newspapers. Yes, that's true.
Somebody says they're doing the hydrated lime for the first time. We'll see how that goes. That's what I did. I tried that, but like I said, I messed it up. And really, we eat ours fresh every day. And we usually eat fresh eggs. They're usually 1 or 2 days old. So after a while, I have a collection of eggs. It just doesn't take long.
Tammy said, would we choose Patriot Supply for dehydrated vegetables and fruit needs? That's the only one we use. We have a link down below. You can go check it out.
I have bought their
We
pineapple,
bought a lot of our stuff that we bought from My Patriot Supply.
anything that I buy dehydrated comes,
Yeah.
or freeze dried, I must say, freeze dried. I bought the pineapple, the strawberries, things that I don't have here, just to have as an extra down the road. We do have our own pineapples, but it's like we'll have maybe two, or this year we've already had one and we have another one that's going to be getting ready. But it's not enough to just have a supply. And I bought some of their traveler stew, the mac and cheese. I can't remember. Potato soup.
Well, that fan's killing my eyes.
Ooh. And those things are ways to have something to eat if you have to have something. All you do is add water, and they work out.
I'm trying. Well, Richard Barnes asked a question back there, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Somebody asked, why do we not pickle eggs? I don't like pickled eggs. I don't
We
like
don't
the
care
taste
for
of them,
pickled
and he
eggs.
doesn't either. So there's no point in me pickling eggs.
Richard said, when you plant a hybrid seeds, do you get the same fruit from the original plant? No, you do not. They don't come back true.
Well, if you buy hybrid seeds,
if you buy them, they do. But if you just save your own seed, they don't. Danny, I have an orchard of about 16 fruit trees, 7 years old, don't get any fruit. Apples, peaches, crab apples, plum, pear, apricot, nectarine. Any idea why? Never no fruit. They just, they start fruit, but they die off. It sounds like you have a nutritional deficiency in your soil.
What about that Dr. Earth stuff? Would that
I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to say. You could be lacking in lime. There's just lots of things that could be lacking there, or you could be getting late freezes or something could be knocking them off.
Do you know if a watermelon will cross with a cantaloupe when you're saving seed?
No, they should not, because people down here plant watermelons and cantaloupes together to sell.
But they're not the same.
They're not the same genus family. I have a video coming up this week about saving seeds. Can you grow the sweet potatoes in a greenhouse in the fall? Yes, but you better have a big area for the vines to run.
Yeah, just keep wrapping them around. We had a Cherokee tam we planted in the January or something this time, February, and but before it got too hot in our greenhouse on the barn, it had done what, 20, 30 feet?
About 20 feet so far, yeah. They run the full length of the greenhouse and started turning.
Yeah. And had little Cherokee tam pumpkins on it. We actually harvested one.
How can you bring back older peach trees? First of all, cut off any unwanted water sprouts out of the tree and reshape the tree. And it'll probably take a couple of years, but it'll come back usually, as long as there's no borers or anything in it. Or it could be a lack of pollinators. That's right. Rita said it could be a lack of pollinators on that one. Yeah, that's true. Let's see.
Where are we at in Mississippi?
About 30 miles north of the Mississippi Gulf Coast in a little town called Wiggins, Mississippi.
Waiting for storms to come in.
Waiting for a storm to come in on Tuesday of this week.
Yeah.
Have we ever heard of Mountain Jim tomatoes? Yes, I have. They're not very big tomatoes, or the last ones I seen wasn't anyway.
Yeah.
Bambi Rita says she has blue collard seeds if we want some. That sounds like it'd be interesting. We have collard seeds, but I think they're what they call the Georgia collards.
Yeah.
I think they're Georgia collards, yeah.
And we tried the tree collards, but I guess I didn't do something right, and they didn't work.
Yeah, they didn't work out. How well would a fig tree do in a container? It does really good, Florida homesteader. You just got to make sure that you keep the tree pruned back to match the container.
Somebody says a cantaloupe will taste like a watermelon if you replant the seed.
That's why I'm planting them together.
Yeah.
People around here plant watermelons and cantaloupes in the same field.
But they don't save the seeds.
No, they don't save the seed from them. No.
That's what they were asking. Could you save the seeds if you planted them together?
Oh, I'm not sure because I've never done it.
Yeah, they might. You'd have to check.
They might. You have to look at the genus names on them.
Yeah, a lot of people grow figs in containers to
Yeah.
up north because they have to take them
Lots
in.
of figs are grown in containers. Yeah, they work fine.
Yes, I will try to keep people posted on the storms if we can. Now our
Yeah,
internet goes in and out big time. It's already been out part of today already.
yeah, and we're running past our time here, so
Yeah, and we want to keep life in farmland in our prayers. He is still working, and he does. He's waiting on a transplant, a kidney transplant. They had to postpone it, but he's. I saw a picture of him today. He seems to be doing okay.
and then Jenna's brother.
He was in the hospital. She has her brother's baby,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's going on there, but we want to keep them in prayers. We've seen our friend Lippy from Gemini Homestead,
Yeah, Miss Lippy ain't on here tonight because she's been ill.
and we want to keep her in our prayers.
Yeah.
She has been very sick for the last 2 weeks, and I'm trying to keep her mind function because I message her off and on all the time saying, "Are you still okay? How you doing?" So we want to keep her in prayers. She did feel a little better today. She kept her fever under 100 today, and she did eat a little bit. So let's hope she's going to get a little better.
They're asking what size container, Diana. What size container would you recommend for a fig? Nothing less than 25 gallons.
Um,
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I know there's other people that's been sick,
There's
but I can't
been lots of
remember.
other people who's been sick. Thank y'all for your prayers when my dad passed. I want to mention that. I don't know if they heard me, but 25 gallons on a container for the fig tree. I can't think of anybody else. I mean, I know there's lots of people. We got lots of people looking for homesteads.
Yeah.
So we want to
Trying
keep
to sell places
trying to
too.
sell places. I mean, we got lots of people doing that. They're trying to get moved out of to a permanent location somewhere rural.
Yeah. And so I guess if you guys want to put your prayer request up, go ahead and y'all can let Rita's thing go through. I don't know if I can.
You can do it.
Well, I can't with this. I'd have to. Rita is saying message her. Another person got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just there. That's Rita's email or something. So if you want the colored seeds.
Yeah.
Somebody said their fig tree seems to die back
Diana,
to the ground.
fig trees, all the roots are on top of the ground. You need to put a mulch around them really deep around the root system beyond the tree and cut it back to like two sprouts sticking out of the ground instead of a whole bunch of sprouts.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to go to the Lord in prayer and mention these people and the condition for our country that it's in. And the wildfires that's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of wildfires everywhere. So, and the earthquakes. There's been a few.
Been a lot of earthquakes.
Starting.
Because Manny has an unspoken prayer.
And the storms coming in because
yes,
they're going to hit somewhere on the coast.
Somewhere on the coastline, this storm is going to hit.
From Louisiana all the way to Florida, they don't ever know, and we're right in the middle of it, so it can go right, left, or come straight into us.
Julie Nelson says she lost her husband of 48 years, the 23rd of August. So
keep her in prayers.
Keep her in our prayers. Okay. Father, we thank you for the day you've given us, and Lord, we want to praise you for the good chat tonight. Thank you for just giving us good people, and Lord, I pray we're able to help them and be a blessing to them, because they're surely a blessing to us. And we do pray for the hurricane that's headed toward the Gulf Coast. Wherever it goes, Father, I pray that you'll be with everybody that's in its path, and that everybody's place will be spared as well as can be. I know there will be some destruction, but I pray that it won't be too bad now. They're saying a 12-foot tidal surge is coming with it, so we pray for those right along the water line that they'll evacuate if they need to now. And Father, we pray about the wildfires that's burning in our country. Many say that they're arsonists, that they've been set by people. Some say the government's doing it. Some say they just are just spreading because of the winds and stuff. Whatever the reason, Father, the ones that have lost homes and lost lives and stuff, we pray for them, Father, and we ask that you help them to get these wildfires under control. We pray for the upcoming election in this country, that your will be done in that, Father, in a way that will best glorify you and our country can see the best benefits from it. And we pray for those that are sick tonight, Father. We know Eric is waiting a kidney transplant, and Ms. Lippy's been sick. And Father, the lady here who lost her husband of 40-something years, we pray that you'll help her to find the peace that she needs to deal with this. I've lost a spouse myself, so I understand a little bit about what she feels. And Father, I just pray that you heal the bodies of those that are sick, fill the void of those that have lost loved ones now. For those that are looking for places to move to, I pray that you'll help them to find them and find them quick. Raise up the money so that they can be able to afford them, Lord. Give them the best deals that you can possibly give them now. And Father, help us to all be able to rest good tonight. Water our lands with the water that we need. And Father, just bless our crops, our trees, and everything we have, our animals, so that they're all productive as we go into these uncertain days ahead. And we do pray for the blessings of obedience to be granted to each and every person that is obedient to your word here tonight, Father. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. Okie dokie.
So if you're looking for a cookbook and you want one, come back after we go out. You had to come back in.
Once the video is rendered and it's up and running.
You can do the chat immediately.
Yeah.
So once we shut down, you have to go out and come back in again to the video and comment, I want a cookbook. And I will do the randomizer tomorrow evening sometime. And if y'all remember, oneradionetwork.com Monday at 9 o'clock. Check in and give us a little support there. You can watch the interview, and I'm sure he will have it listed on his page then where you can go back and watch it later if you don't catch it when it's going on. I think he puts those up somehow. And also should be fun. Anything else?
Nope.
You done?
I'm done.
We're going to be working a little bit this week. Well, I guess we're going to be canning.
Well, if the storm comes in,
it's going to be raining.
It's going to be raining, so we can't do the internet. We can't upload videos. So, guys, if there's no videos up for several days, please understand that it's because of the weather. You know, we have no internet when the weather gets bad, and the storm will be coming in on the day that Porch Time is supposed to air. So, it might be possible that this would be the first time I don't have a Porch Time.
I don't know. You might have missed one time.
Have I missed it before?
I don't know. Have you?
I don't know.
All right, that's
That's
a
good question, and I can't even answer it. So
I'm not sure if he's ever missed.
I don't know if I've ever missed a Porch Time.
He hasn't even filmed it yet.
I haven't filmed it yet.
He doesn't have a subject.
I'm just waiting on God. God usually gives me what he wants me to talk about. So
y'all throw him some ideas. Say, please do Porch Time on
that. Do Porch Time on this, or this, you know, and sometimes that helps, you know.
He just usually doesn't do anything till Sunday morning, and he gets up and decides to do Porch Time early Sunday morning usually.
Yeah.
And
so it all depends on what this hurricane does.
We do have one on sweet potatoes. It's kind of a few little tips. It's not a really anything special video, but if you're growing sweet potatoes and you want a few hints, we did a video while we were digging some of the sweet potatoes, and it'll be up probably Monday. And then the seed saving one will probably be Wednesday or Thursday, just according. But I'll try to have them up in Porch Time on Tuesday, and the rest of the time I don't know because we hadn't got that far. Did you get your fan system from Grower Solution for the greenhouse?
One greenhouse we did, one greenhouse we did not.
The one we have in
my greenhouse is from Amazon.
Yeah. And the one that will go in my greenhouse is from Grower Solution. We just hadn't got
Yeah.
that far yet.
She gets the big fancy system. I just got a plain little old fan that works off of a thermostat control.
Mine is going to be the nice one. Y'all, if y'all want to know what my greenhouse is looking like now on Crazy Days, that's part of the video today. I showed you what I've got planted already because I've been planting, even though we're not through.
Yep.
I'm planting.
She's planting regardless of the rain.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And we're to the point to put the plastic on, aren't we?
We're at a point where we can put the plastic on, but this just depends on what this storm does. I'm not putting it on until I know what the storm does.
All right, so can we talk about all these weather swings? Oh, I think that's what she's asking.
Well, you have to understand, YouTube is censoring me so hard on some things. A lot of the weather things I talk about over on Patreon because I can talk freely over there. If I say things on YouTube that I'm not supposed to say, then they pull my video before I ever put it up.
Yeah, so we kind of having to watch, but it's mainly weather extremes. Wherever it's one thing, it's that to the extreme. I mean, just like now, 6 systems in the Atlantic.
6 systems in the Atlantic Ocean as we sit here and talk right now.
That's crazy. I mean, I've seen 2 and 3. One after another coming after, you know, but 6 different systems, that's really kind of unheard of. Or I think it is. Maybe we haven't watched the weather. No.
Maybe so.
But we usually watch it pretty regularly.
Well, I keep a check on it pretty often because I like to know what's going on.
All right.
How long do I think the food shortages will last? I think we're going to go into a permanent one now.
They keep, the things that keep happening all over the place. If you don't pay any attention to the news, and the news don't tell you half the time.
Talk on Porch Time about old time ways. Now that's a thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of food shortage stuff everywhere. So old time ways, what kind of old time ways?
Oh, I got a lot of stories from old times.
I've been telling him the stories is what helps. He has to drag some more stories out. Or you might could invent a story. I'm just
no,
joking.
I don't invent nothing.
You can invent a story. That would be fun.
Any information on how to get rid of armadillos? They're so bad for gardens. The only way we do it, Diane, is we just get out at night with a flashlight and we shoot them. You know? And I think we've about killed them all out here.
We've got one somewhere.
But
He's
they have
not been in our yard.
The thing about armadillos is they have 4 every time they have them, and they're always the same sex. So,
they're either all male or
they're either all male or they're all female. Okay, we got to get off here, guys. Wanda and I still got a few things we got to do, and we will see y'all in the next video.
Diane said she wished she had the Foxfire books. We have about 5 or 6 of them, and they are really
Right here first.
Really
good.
Good books. So if you get a chance,
check out the Foxfire books, all 10 or 12 editions of them.
Or more.
Or more.
I have the cookbook, actually.
You actually have the Foxfire cookbook, yeah.
I do. I have to get that out and do a video one day.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys. See you later.